Hello and welcome to this video where I'm going to be talking about Black Lagoon. Now back in the day when this show first came out, it was being compared a lot to Cowboy Bebop since they both have similar premises and similar styles of storytelling. And the general consensus was that while this show was good, great even, it never quite reached the level that Cowboy Bebop did. However, I have to say, and this may set a few people off, but I actually like Black Lagoon a lot more than Cowboy Bebop. Now, I'm not really here to do any kind of comparison. I just wanted to introduce this anime to people and talk about why I found it so enjoyable. Rokaru Okajima is a Japanese salaryman that works for a large corporation in Tokyo. While on a business trip, he gets abducted by a group of pirates known as the Lagoon Company. When his corporation declares him dead to protect their shady business deals, Rokaru changes his name to Rock and accepts an offer to join the Lagoon Company. The story follows Rock and the crew of the Black Lagoon as they take on various missions in the city of Roanapa. As I mentioned before, this show has a very similar style of storytelling to Cowboy Bebop since it has self-contained arcs rather than a long-running plot. Now, the characters do change and events in previous arcs do affect what happens in future arcs, but for the most part, each story arc is kept separate. Even though I usually prefer long-running storylines, I actually didn't mind this, and I think the decision to have each mission as its own story arc suits this show well. One of the things I love about this anime is that it's really funny. The dialogue often had me laughing hard, especially when the characters were swearing.
Yeah! You got fucked!
You can tell that the actors had a blast dubbing this, and this makes the show a lot more fun to watch. While the anime is quite humorous, there's also a lot of drama here. The characters all have very traumatic backstories, and each arc usually contains some form of tragedy. In particular, there's this arc in Season 2 which involves two young twins which really got to me when I first saw it. Once it had finished, I just remember staring at my computer screen feeling completely numb. Each arc also has a lot of suspense. The crew of the Lagoon are constantly challenged by new obstacles, and there was never really a point where I thought the characters were completely safe. When watching an anime with characters this strong, I usually end up going, oh, they're not going to lose here. They're definitely going to find some way to get out of this. But no, that never happened here. And I believe this is because the show strikes a very nice balance of scenes of the Lagoon Company dominating and scenes of them in serious trouble. This helps make the characters look strong without making them look invincible. Speaking of characters, Rock starts off acting like a scared little puppy, which is totally understandable since he was kidnapped by pirates. But he very quickly starts to get used to being a criminal, and by the end, he's just as hardened as anybody else in Roanapa. I loved Rock as a character. Specifically, I loved the idea that a normal guy could survive in such a harsh, criminal-filled environment. It actually gives me a lot of hope and makes me think that if I was thrown into a situation like that I would have the inner strength to survive as well. But probably not. Moving on to Revy, who is very volatile and quick to anger. This is because she grew up in poverty and was abused heavily as a child. She also has incredible combat skills which she used to survive her difficult upbringing. In my opinion, Revy is the centerpiece of this show. Her charismatic personality and her insanely good marksmanship help keep this anime exciting and engaging.
What are you gonna do? Write a memo or something?
Hey, you two!
Why don't you mind your own fucking business?
These qualities would make her very easy to idolize. However, she also acts as somewhat of a cautionary tale. It is constantly stated that she had to go through hell to become who she is, which is a cold-blooded, cruel murderer. And this is good because we shouldn't really be looking up to murderers no matter how likable they are. Also, while Remy's relationship with Rock starts off as kinda rough, it actually becomes surprisingly cute. You can sense that there's a bit of a spark there, but neither of them really want to act on it. This relationship helps give Revy some humanity and makes her more endearing. Many of the supporting characters are also very entertaining, along with being flat out terrifying. The sheer amount of intimidating personalities in this cast helps cement Roanoke as an absolute hellhole. Since Black Lagoon is primarily an action show, it's very important to have high quality action scenes. And the action here is some of the best I've ever seen in anime. There is so much variety here. You've got car chases, boat chases, gunfights, fist fights, and this means that the action never gets boring. The animation is also top notch. Madhouse did a fantastic job, like they usually do. I also loved how haunting the ending theme is. Even though this show is usually a bundle of fun, the ending brings you back down and lets you know that you just watched a bunch of people being killed. And that's kind of screwed up. So, hopefully that explains why I love this show so much. And if you're a fan of action anime, definitely check this out. Hell, even if you're not that big a fan of action anime, I'd still recommend checking this out because, in all honesty, I'm not that big a fan of action anime and I enjoyed this thoroughly. So anyway, thank you very much to everybody who watched this video. If you have any feedback, feel free to leave a comment. If you like this video and want to see more, feel free to subscribe as well. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.